What's going on, y'all? And welcome to another edition of Dominique the Podcast with my co-host Gerard Guillory. You see Gerard here every week, and we have a good time here every week. And we thank you for commenting about the show and joining in on the show. We appreciate that, and like we always say, we're gonna laugh, we might cry, but we ain't gonna lie.
But we ain't
So
gonna
that's
lie.
our we ain't gonna lie. That's our motto on here. We have a good time, we laugh and all that. So we're gonna jump into this and thank you. And like I always say, we're here every Wednesday. I know I missed the past few Wednesdays. I've been working, I've been traveling. So that's on me. But we back. So sometime that might happen. We have difficult schedules. So sometime that might happen. But we're back and we come on every Wednesday, 11 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. Central Time, and 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So let's jump right in. Our first guest, you know Trisha Mann Grant. She's no stranger to you. You know the show she's on. And ironically, her character's name is Dominique. How ironic is that? She plays
Exactly.
Yeah, she plays Dominique on the Family Business. She's in a new movie with Faison Love called Santa Games on Hulu. She plays his wife, and she also has a movie coming out. Because we are done. Because I think I'm reading this wrong. What is a new movie called, Trisha?
Because we're done with Reggie Gaskins. I feel like I need to be on landscape with y'all. I hope it doesn't mess things up. We're going to try to change this. Is that better? Is that
Yeah,
better?
you look fine to
Oh,
me.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
you look
It
fine
was
to
okay.
me.
All right, now I'm on
Because we
landscape.
are
I'm going to be
done.
talking.
She's
Because
on
we're
a
done.
movie. Because we are done, and another movie coming out called Lipstick. I mean, she working. She getting the bag. You can't never be
Amen.
mad just to get the bag. You can't. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Trisha Mann Grant. And
Oh, thank you.
my next guest, BPhlat, OG in this business. You also know B. You done seen her for years. She's been on everything. She's been touring. She's been on Def Jam, BET. She has her own one woman show. She's straight out of St. Louis. A good friend of mine. We've been down for years.
yes.
Y'all give it up for the great BPhlat.
Oh, thank
B
Woo-hoo.
flat. Be in the building. Be in the building.
thank
Ah,
How y'all
love it.
look good? How y'all doing? Did you I know we have to talk about the fact that yesterday was election day. Did you guys vote? Do you vote? I mean, because some people nowadays, I must say I always ask that because some people nowadays they just opt out. Some people are just tired, and especially in this social media age, we're able to see minute by minute by minute the shenanigans, sometimes the childishness that's happening in this government. So I know people that have just decided to opt out and like, I can't do it right now. I'm tired. So I always ask, did you vote? You know what I mean? I'm just tired. Like,
Yeah, I didn't opt out. I always do. I didn't opt out. You sound like my mama because she would call and be like, "Did you vote? Go vote!" And then she wants me to get the early vote in all the time. I'm like, "Mama," and we almost. Let me tell you something. We almost had it out one time. I said, "How about we just don't have any political conversations in the future for the sake of our wonderful relationship?"
yeah,
Because
so let's not
she
talk
she
about it.
expects me to think like her and vote the way she votes. And yeah, so we're gonna leave that there. But I love her. I
Yeah,
love
so
her.
I did. I voted too. I'm one that vote. I mean, I don't necessarily know that I have a whole lot of faith like I used to because I'm able to see things and the way I feel about things, but I still vote.
Yeah,
I do it for the ancestors. They died for me to vote, so I vote. But the turnout and I don't know. It's all it's a lot,
Well,
and I'm not very trustworthy like that either. So.
you know what I think it is with politics. First, I do the mail-in vote. Ever since COVID, I signed up to get the mail-in vote. However, I do walk people because our polling booth is not far from here. It's literally like
Okay.
500 yards. So it's a couple older people. Only when it's warm out, I'll walk. And lately, our weather's been. But over the years, if it's a little chilly, I'd be like, "Oh, y'all get in the car." But normally, yeah, you know what it is? I like for us, for people to see us walking because it
Mm.
inspires other. When you in the car, don't nobody know where you're going.
yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So that's why I'm happy that it's. And I always have my button on, and it's funny every time I go back, people be like, "Wasn't you just here?" And I'd be like, "Are y'all gonna let me vote again?" But that's what I'm supposed to say. But the funny thing is, this year I walked 2 people over, but I'm yesterday, but I didn't. I already voted. I did mail my ballot in, but the thing that I was a little perturbed about, and I'm just saying this because this is why we need to vote. I've been sent. I always get the mail-in ballot, but I was asking because some people were walking around putting stuff on the door and asking about, and I said, yeah, I'm voting on the mail-in ballot. And this was like 2 months ago. And they were like, oh, the ballot's been out. And I was like, what? Well, why haven't I gotten mine yet? So when I pulled out my file, called in, then they told me that you got to read the fine print because the one I signed up for wasn't for all the elections. It was just for primaries, and it's not for local. So I had to just tell them they sent me a thing in the mail, but I did it online to let them know I want to always get a mail-in ballot. But people, I'm just saying that because a lot of people did sign up and they don't know if you didn't ask or why you didn't get your ballot yet. That could be the reason, because they always anticipate people will not vote in local elections. And those are the ones that matter. I just came off.
They are.
I was just out on this Get Out the Vote tour. Me, myself, Michelle Foreman, and Vanessa Fraction. We did 7 cities all in the month of October. And it was just fun, just out meeting congressmen. And I got to meet Mark Morial, all kind of people. Nina Turner, just everybody that were coming to these different rallies, to the comedy shows. And I really feel like we made a difference in terms of the fact that the red swing didn't happen, the red surge or whatever they were talking about in terms of Republicans taking over. It's still hope out there. And I keep telling people the Congress is going to always be in battle because it's Republicans and Democrats, but they have to work together. And that's what we're used to. We're used to them working together. We're not used to this being opposed to each other because they're not doing it for the will of the people. Now they're really making it about politics. And I'm just, yeah, it's getting crazy. So that's why I'm happy where we are, because they were just expecting the Republicans to just sweep everything. And we still have stake in the game. And even if we did sweep I'm a Democrat. I'm just going to say, even if we did sweep, we're still going to have to battle them trying to block everything. So these next 2 years are still going to be tumultuous, but we're going to be able to work through it as we always do as a nation. Because people
hopefully we can work through it, B.
We will.
When you're dealing with these shenanigans and
but
I don't know, the immaturity gets me. You know, the immaturity gets me when you have constituents and you say that you're going to do this for your constituents and you're going to do that, and they sit up there while they getting paychecks and making a lot of money, getting kickbacks and all of the above, and they don't do a lot for they do a lot of he say, she say. It's really, really elementary. And it really bothers me that it's elementary in the way that it is. And it also bothers me that the president has no power like that. You know, that he's just like a talking head. So that really, really bothers me.
And
Congress
I understand.
and the Senate and you know, the Senate
and
the House of Representatives are running everything. And they up there really in an elementary way to me.
But the fact that you can say that, and you can say that on your show, and you never know who could be listening and who else shares it. And if more people speak out in terms of what we want to see get done, at least we have time to do that. But I just felt like all of that was at stake. And people don't feel like Roe versus Wade made a difference, but it did. Look at all the suburban white women that don't vote or nothing.
Yeah, I think that made a difference. That did make a difference.
People are thinking about their civil liberties. They're going after, right now, they're going after affirmative action. Make it like trying to ban it it's on the table. And Clarence Thomas is the spearhead in terms of banning affirmative action. They already got cases from Harvard and different other universities.
North Carolina.
Yeah, that just want. So you go with that now, and then you attacking LGBT rights and different things that are up on. Next, it'll be interracial marriage. That used to be illegal. A lot of stuff used to be illegal or whatever that was banned. That I feel like Republicans, if they get in there, want to wipe out.
See, my thought is, you know, I'm torn. I agree that the midterms and the local elections are way more important than who is the president based on what Dom said. But when you go back to like how you just said that, that they are going after affirmative action.
Yes.
But then if we put a microscope on they, that's going to be Asians. That was Asian people who determined that race-based admissions is unconstitutional. So they're going to strip that away from Black people. And the only reason why they got here to be as fruitful as they were is on the backs of Black people and civil rights.
Exactly.
So when it comes to voting at all, see, our forefathers and mothers, God bless the descendants in there, you know what I mean? God bless them for what they did. They didn't have house niggas running for office. So when we say that they died to vote, that is because the people who did the killing knew who we were trying to put in office was nothing like Herschel Walker. It wasn't Raphael Warnock. It wasn't the people who, when Black people came and said, hey, listen, in Georgia and in Pennsylvania, y'all need us. You use us. You use our pain and our plight to propel yourself forward. And then when we get there, we're talking about LGBT and gay marriage and Asians and Latinos. And listen, this is not a smite on Asians and Latinos. The issue with Asians and Latinos is their leaders go and fight for Asian rights. Their leaders go and fight for Latino rights. And then our leaders say the Black and Brown coalition.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the Brown coalition is changing the whole demographics of the city of Los Angeles. I'm in Houston, Texas. The same thing is happening here. And wherever your chair happens to be with your ass on top of it at this moment, that's what's going on in your city hall. So I subscribe to, if I try to be a righteous person and I try to live a righteous life, voting for the lesser of two evils is not an option for a righteous person.
Okay.
You still got me voting for evil. And so if I choose to sit it out and things get awful, because remember, Dom and I talked about this yesterday, and this is just a sample. A high school in Chicago, the principal gets fired because a Jewish kid shows up in a Nazi suit for the costume competition. And because nothing was done, they fire the teacher. But when you read the story, the Black parents were saying there have been so many racial things that happen. So, of course, when your group gets dealt with, now everything has to change. But everybody sat around and watched Black people suffer before it happened. That white girl who from University of Kentucky, who was arrested and charged.
Yes.
Did you read the full story? When the police showed up, she bit the cop and kicked the cop. So did she get arrested because she did a hate crime on that Black girl, or because she hit a police officer? So it ain't never about us. And until we stand together and make sure that whether we're straight or gay, whether we want to get married, same sex, whether we trying to go get a job that requires affirmative action or send our kids to school, we need to be thinking about our issue. They use it every time. Black women die more than anybody else giving birth. So we're going to do these 10 things to make sure that women of color don't have that issue. Well, women of color don't have the issue. Black women do.
Have the issues.
So when we start standing for what it is that we're trying to fight for, I want reparations. That may not be what comes, but if we could save 10,000 Black women in the birth and delivery, I'll take that until we get that.
Listen, I'm still stuck on the fact that you said a child showed up to class, to the party with a Nazi uniform on. See, I'm going back to the parents. Who are these parents that thought this was okay to put this child in this uniform and send him to school like this? Can we just deal with that?
I look at it like that. Those are the parents that don't know what's going on in that child's room when they got bombs and guns, and all they do is keep the door closed. And then they say, oh, he's in his room. Don't bother him. Don't bother him. And then the ones that sneak out, run out with the coat on, you don't know what they got because they're not paying attention.
Right.
The same things that kids are doing in terms of being on their apparatuses, parents are doing it. Everybody be at the table on the phone, having dinner. They're all sitting in front of the television watching the game, but somebody still got their iPad. You're having a family
But
moment. But
that's the
still on
problem.
their phone.
Yeah,
You don't even know what your people are doing while they're sitting right next to you.
Right.
Like, we
you're
just
right.
found out with one of my nieces that's showing her breasts, but your mama she been doing it for years. And now you just looking on her phone. See what I'm saying?
Right.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
That's the
But
thing. So a
What
lot
did you
of
say,
times
Trish?
I say
no, I'm just saying. No, that was the B flat.
I honestly believe it's the relationships that the
Mm-hmm.
parents are lacking with these.
Mm-hmm.
They feel like I can't relate to them. They listening to that crazy music, or I don't want to hear that shit, or I don't know what that. But you should know what that is.
Well,
That's what
Yeah.
let's think about this though, real quick. I agree with both of you, and I think that that is a great percentage. But remember, most of this racism and hate is learned at that same dinner table. See,
Sure.
when they look up
Which.
from the phone, Daddy got a Nazi.
Mm-hmm.
true.
Right.
Daddy's saying
This
the
is
N
true.
word and using epithets for everybody on the
Yeah.
planet. Mom is Karen.
But look, I'm gonna say this: my daddy racist because all he talk about white people. I can't stand don't let them white mother. But I don't feel like that. I don't feel like when I go out here, everybody in my family married to somebody white except me. My husband is black. My daddy be talking crazy about him. But the thing is, we don't feel that way. We don't feel like he raised us to hate white people. We know how he feels. You see what I'm saying? And I'm
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
sure it's white people in there. I got white friends. They probably go home and be like, oh, that black man, get on my nerve. But that does not mean that they're teaching their children that.
Right.
There are those parents that are, you know what I'm saying? I hear it all the time in my family. But they clean up when somebody white come around. Hey, white,
We got white folk coming over.
exactly. You hear it. Even when we see them in our neighborhood, we be like, what the white people doing around here? They must be trying to get it. That's how we feel. And it could be termed prejudice or racist.
You breaking up, B.
Oh.
I think that again, those terms, right, while they're used interchangeably, that's the difference. When white folk come to the house, we clean up. When we go to theirs, we have to go through a community. We have to sit up straight. You have to have your hands like 10 and 2. Your seatbelt needs to be on. Your music needs to be down. Your pants need to be pulled up. You shouldn't be smelling like it's a whole lot we got to do before we get to their front door.
Gee, you breaking up too. I don't know what's wrong
It's
with the
funny because
audio.
I feel
I
like
think it's you, Dominique, because I hear them pretty
It's me.
clearly. I
You
don't
think
know.
it's
Yeah, yeah, because I hear everybody real clear.
that
I don't know
might
how
be
they hear.
a problem because I don't pander.
okay? Let me see if it's me. Okay.
You see what I'm
Well,
saying? I feel like we
Yeah.
always like when we get a job, we gotta act like we can talk. They understand us. They
Okay, it
know
is
us.
me.
They
Thanks, Trish.
created the N word. They use it.
but there's the difference. They don't come to us for employment because we don't own and can determine when and where they can work and live and go to school. And that is why when we say racist, we need to be clear that a lot of times we're talking about prejudice.
And that's why I said prejudice and racist.
Yeah. They got to be.
Power in the words of but still, my daddy is like Archie Bunker in a lot of ways. But the
The
thing
black Archie
is,
Bunker.
I feel like a lot of families are like that. But it was in house.
Right.
You could never go outside or across the street and say that stuff. But it didn't mean that you felt a certain way. Like I never felt like, oh, because my daddy said. And he knew we had all kind of friends. And he never said, don't bring them white people over here. He would say, did they keep their shoes on? Stuff like that.
But you also saw how your
They can't use our brush. How they gonna spend a night? That kind of stuff.
but
Right.
like you said, B, you saw how your father
Exactly.
handled white people.
Right.
So you were clear about this is the way he may feel, and then this is the way he may feel inside, but outside, we grew up with a big. They always told us what happens in this house stays in this
Stays in
house.
this house, right?
So we knew the difference between what you were supposed to go shout out in the public and what was going on in your household.
Right.
And
No
then we
filter
had parents that sold into us.
anymore.
I make the point that you make all the time, B, when you said that parents don't have the same activities as the children. That's absolutely correct.
Right.
We didn't have all that, so our parents had to talk and sow into us and build our common sense into us and make us see things from both sides. So they did a whole
Mm-hmm.
different kind of parenting. And I
Yeah.
think that your kids can be on gadgets and all those things, but I think you got to balance it as
I
a
agree.
Yes,
parent.
you
You
do.
have to balance
Yes,
it.
you
If
do.
they're gonna be on that, you got
Yeah.
to tell them what they're dealing with in that
Right.
situation.
Right. Well, see, back then there were more ethics and values and morals that were instilled. Now, social media is raising these children, and we talk about, my husband and I talk about this all the time, where our generation is sad to say, but we drop the ball a lot when it comes to our children. We drop the ball in the sense, not all of us. I'm not just totally generalizing, but a lot of us, you know, we let social media raise them, and we allow them because we get so busy with our lives that it's like, yeah, yeah, go ahead, go on in your room for 12 hours. Whereas when we were little,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna speak for me because BPhlat, you look a little younger than me. I don't know, girl, but when I
It's
was
great.
little,
I love telling everybody how old I am. All my people are
The baby,
56.
just
wait, what
Like
you
baby.
say?
they be like, "You
You,
56?" I be like, "What? I'll be 60 in 4 years." They be like, "You
amen.
you laugh."
You go,
Are
girl.
you? Are you really?
You look amazing.
I'm
All
53,
right.
but I always tell
I,
people
yeah.
6 so they can say you look good for your age.
Yeah.
You,
Working
yeah,
hard.
right.
Fantastic.
Well, I just had a birthday November 3rd, so 5-3 for
Happy
me, baby,
belated
5-3.
birthday,
And I'm
Trinity.
Happy
blessed.
Belated
birthday.
Thank
birthday. Push
you,
it
thank
up.
you, guys.
And
Come on, it's a
look out.
blessing.
Oh, and we gotta shout out Twyla too.
Oh, Twilight
That's right.
birthday.
Oh, that's
You
right.
Yeah,
Her
sure
host of
did.
birthday's
this show. She
Twyla
just
Monday.
had
just
a
had mine.
birthday
Yes, she did on the
on the
7th or
5th
3rd.
And you know
of
she
And our
November.
heart, yeah.
every bit of
She
36.
had, right. She
Yeah.
had the party. She had the comedy thing on the 5th, and then I think she had a party. Oh, her birthday is on the 7th, though. Right? Yes.
Uh
Because I know
one of the
somebody on
viewers,
almost every day of November.
See, that's why I
wow.
tell my
Mhm.
girlfriends, if you pour into yourself because your kids are grown, quit
Yes.
watching all these damn grandbabies. That's what they got daycare for. Take your ass to the yoga class. Do what the mama doing. The mama trying to stay popping. She at the gym. You up here.
Right.
You can't even run around and watch the
Yeah.
grandbabies. They got on
Because
their
you watching the grandbabies.
get yourself
Wait,
together.
I mean,
You can't let the band
I mean,
run
come
you.
on.
You run the grandbabies
Yeah.
instead of the grandbabies running you. They be like,
Back in the day,
listen.
I was with my grandmother a lot. You know, back in the day, my grandmother watched us a lot because it was a whole different show back then. They didn't do anything but
Mhm.
stay home. Okay.
But
Can I
those are
Nowadays,
older
yeah.
grandmas.
Go
can I
ahead,
say
sir.
that?
Nowadays,
Yeah.
B
before
flat, that's the case. It's a whole different grandmother, and that
exactly,
Yes.
happened prior to social media. If you
Yeah.
50 something, your grandmama was 70 something,
exactly.
loaded with wisdom.
My grandma,
Loaded.
Overloaded with wisdom. And then
I
in
mean
the
Yeah.
in the
loaded.
mid
yeah,
late 90s, grandmothers turned to be 38.
exactly,
Hmm.
And God bless them. Yeah, they didn't have the same wisdom. And then that group is the group whose children and everybody's on this device,
yeah.
divided and not focused
Yeah.
and forgetting what the tasks are
And
and what the
these
Right,
rules
young
right.
are.
girls look like grandmas. They look bad. You see something like,
You say the, but wait. We talking about the kids look like grandma.
I'm talking about these 20 to 30-year-olds. And my niece fall
Yeah,
out.
they,
Got a
they,
girl. She be like, "Can I have
yeah.
your shoes?" I be like, "I'm not gonna let you disgrace my shoes.
Right.
Bad shoes. Girl, please
You a mess.
tell me he's on posh. Get the real money while you bullshitting. Be running around here having my shoes crazy one of them Sheen outfits on.
No.
Oh,
You know,
that
Ah,
Fashion Nova, Sheen, whatever they be having on. Even when I
right.
was a young girl back then, they had Fashion Gal, Rainbow, all them little cheesy. I ain't never going there.
City
learners.
trends,
Yeah,
Not
I
city
ain't
trends.
going there.
Learners. You
Dillard,
learn.
I
learners.
was a
Yeah.
Dillard's, Famous Bar, Macy's. I was not no
Mhm.
cheesy, like in the club, even in the 90s, wore them little cheesy outfit, that Victoria's Secret clothes. That's why I call them the Victoria's Secret catalog clothes.
Hilarious.
They supposed to be wearing no clothes out of Victoria's Secret. Only draws. But I didn't wear that stuff because I always felt it looked cheesy. You can still be classy and sexy and certain ways. You ain't gotta be. And that's how my niece is. And she be wanting my bad Camilla Scovard shoes. I'll be like, girl, please. These shoes can buy 39 of them outfits.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna give them to somebody that appreciate them and will wear them right.
Hilarious.
What size are you?
Uh-oh.
I wear a 46. Yeah.
Girl, go on now. All right.
Oh,
I'm talking about shoes. What size shoe you
oh,
wear?
I'm sorry. 8. Yep, I wear 8. And I be
Lord.
having some
All
bad
right.
shoes. Everybody be on my shoes. You know, that's something that I'm about to show y'all a bad pair right quick while we taking a 5 second break.
I bet she got a whole closet. She has a whole
Hilarious.
closet
B
full of
said, I'm gonna
shoes.
show y'all the bad pair
Nothing but
right
shoes.
now.
I believe it.
So we had a question from one of the
Oh yeah, you can't
Ooh,
wear that with city trends.
that's nice. Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's
Oh
nice,
snap. Yeah.
B.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
You know what?
yeah. I like.
Okay. Now the
Well,
bad
look
part
here.
about these,
If they accidentally send you a size 10 in anything, you just send it straight to me.
I
Okay,
stuffed
I
these
got
up
you.
last week in Pittsburgh on stage doing the splits. Why I came home and got the paint out that's over here in my cabinet, start touching all of this up with the paintbrush, blending out. And I took my finger and did all this. My husband was like, "What the hell you do?" I was like, fixing my shoe, then let it dry and buffed it with the clear thing. And you can't even tell. Everybody be like, "Where you get them?" So now I can't hardly wear them no more because everybody want them. The kind of shoes once you got them, you gotta sell them or give them away because it's like, damn, everywhere she goes, she got them on.
You gotta put them in a case.
So
You gotta write the date on them so you remember it was a Thursday. I went to the function for which card. Don't wear these again until after Christmas.
oh, but that's why I keep a log in my journal what I wear.
Mm.
That's what that is over there on the floor. I don't know if you
Why
can
you log in your journal what you wear, B? Or what you saying
because
on stage?
yes.
So she gonna keep
I'm on like the
repeating it.
20th one of these. You see that? Down
Oh
the side
man.
in the
Wow.
city. And then because if I be like, oh, I wore that, I can't wear that again. So I always have to keep track of everything that I wear. And now I got about 20 of these.
Why don't you just take a picture?
Oh, and then all I gotta do is be like, oh, and that's why I write it like this, because I'm going back to Maryland. So when I was in Bethesda at the Joe Claire and Friends on April 5th, the 18th, I look at all the times. The first thing I do is look in my phone and see, and I put in Bethesda to see how many times I was there. Then I look through this and be like, oh, when I was there, I wore that. When I was there, then I'm like, oh, I can't wear that. I can wear
So
that.
now that's
I
good
laugh
that
at-
B that's real good that B does that
I
because
do that. So I go all the way back and then I'll look at the thing and I'll listen to the material and be like, oh, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Oh, they
See, I
like
understand that.
yeah. But
I
I
get
do
that.
go on
You very organized.
people
I do want to
always
switch
good.
the
but
outfit.
people always remember you within the last thing that you had on. And I started doing that about 20 years ago because I did these 2 colleges. And the girl was like, when you was here last year, you had that on. And I was like, when your ass supposed to graduate? You was a senior girl. She was like, I work here now. And it was true. She worked there at the function graduate.
Oh, that's
She was
dirty.
like one of the
But
people on this thing that brought me back. She's like, you had that on. And I was like, oh, no, I got to start
B,
tracking.
that's good that you said that though, because I'll do the same thing, but I don't write down what I wear. I have a different approach. I know I can pretty much tell, I can say, okay, I didn't got enough wears out of this outfit. But I don't write it down. I'll be like, I got enough wears out of this outfit. So
Oh,
I'll just pretty much say, okay, I already wore this
can
4
I show
times.
y'all one more thing I do when I get enough wears out of
And I
something?
know that I know the pictures are circulating. So I'm like, okay, I already wore this 4 times. Then sometimes I just wear something. I take the Tammy Roman approach. When they talked about her red bottle, she said, I'm going to walk in them till I walk them down. You
That's
not
right.
on my budget,
That's
bitch. That's what
Come
she
on.
That
said.
is why I
And
Come
wear
on.
stuff, flip it up,
I'm on my
change
own
it.
budget. And so sometimes I wear something and I be like, you not on my budget.
And I'm
Right.
on a budget, and I don't
I'm
believe
on
in
my
buying
own
a lot of
budget.
clothes.
But
I
you
don't
do
like
have
a
to
lot of stuff.
constantly change clothes. I do a lot
Yes,
of shopping as well.
I'm gonna grab this jacket.
But I might need to write it down. I'm real
Okay.
Let me
impressed
go
with your
right now.
book, B.
I'm be right back. I'm over here packing for Barbados
Okay.
to show my jacket hat. Hold on.
She showing her whole wardrobe on here talking about her jacket hat. and running out the frame to show her wardrobe.
Oh my
Be
God.
something
I
else.
love it. You're so
I thought she
sweet.
was
I
just trying
love
to
it.
show off the house shoes.
Ah,
How
okay.
jazzy the
So
house
what I
shoes
do
are.
is
Oh
I go on
my God. What is
websites
this?
like the Real or go just different like real high end things that I like, and I'd be like, I ain't paying no $1,000 for that bullshit. And then I'll take pictures of it, and then I'll print the picture out, and then I start cutting up my own stuff to make it.
Nice.
That's smart though.
That's nice,
DIY to
big.
the fullest. Come
This
on.
I
I'm not
did
mad at
creative,
you.
and then this is, and the funny thing, I've worn this twice, but the label was red. Remember the red label from like I think it's Bloomingdale's, whatever the case is. I cut this off right here and made an angle, and I add grommets right here so I can wear this as a shirt. And I ran out of at the bottom is blue, and then I added this piece on right here. You see this piece I sewed on with the blue stitching, if you can see. All the buttons are left over, and then I had to stop right here because I ran out. You can see on my sewing machine I had ran out of the. I had this little thing. I put it on the back. It's like a little bird. And I took the label out. I sure did. And you see the inside
for
is
sure,
white.
B, you have took everybody. You have taken everybody on the journey of what comics go through with wardrobe.
Girl, yes.
Dee straight up said, I get the designer stuff and then I make my own.
Redesign.
That is creative though.
But that's very creative and it's nice.
Start your own line.
And I can wear it as a shirt, and I put 2 grommets in it. That's
like the kind of jacket, BPhlat, that when you have that, then for 20 years you got to write down everything you ever wore after that. You know what I'm saying? I toured with Arnez J I toured with Arnez for a long time, and Arnez would wear a black blazer with some black slacks and a black t-shirt. And remember, Arnez gonna be dripping wet when he finished performing all that jumping. You know how active he is. And you get back in the green room, he got 4 black shirts, right?
Black.
You might be wondering which one I had on, but just to knock that out, it's a uniform. You know what I mean? Just wear one outfit.
That's why
I got 10 of them.
Yeah. I get my sewing machine now. This is right here in this under there. I throw it right up on my crab table. The pedals stay right down there on the floor under the table.
I love
you can have a side hustle. Yeah, she can have a side hustle. Seriously,
she is. That's absolutely right,
and you can sew it up. That's good. The DIY side hustle.
My clothes, Dom. I cut my own hair, do my own makeup, nails, everything. I don't never go to the hairdresser.
B needs a TV show on HGTV because I don't know if you know, but she remodeled her basement as well.
Yeah, I did this whole flip down here. I flipped my whole basement, and I only spent $600.
So, like Walter Miller said, BPhlat is doing home remodeling and the tail as well. So that it's very creative, though. I really love it. It's excellent. I really.
Everybody's always. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Trish.
No. I have a suggestion though. So when you all get tired of shopping, Dominique, and you get tired of DIYing all your clothes, we need to call some of these designers because that's where I am at right now. Because I'm sick of shopping. And I go in my closet, I'm like, all right, I wore that and I wore that here and I wore that to that award show and this to that event. So I'm like, okay, hey, let's barter. I will wear your clothes. I will promote your designs. Let me wear your designs to the next event. That way, my closet isn't packed with a bunch of new stuff that I can only wear a couple of times. So we need to connect with all these amazing, talented designers out here and bless them by promoting their business. And they bless us by letting us wear their stuff, and then we clean it and give it back to them.
I'm glad you said that, Trisha, and I need a hookup on that for real because I do want to do that. Because not only do I shop a lot, but it's not really anything anymore to buy. If you go shopping there, like it's all played out, and when you do what we do, it's like the clothes run out fast, and it's just like it's nothing really there.
And plus, don't nobody want none of my stuff. I don't wear no drawers. I can't.
No, I don't want none of your stuff. No, Thank you,
I
babe.
think that
Big.
I always at the time about when y'all get that coochie juice on.
Okay, California, it's 11 o'clock in the morning.
Hey,
Okay, now.
I'm waiting on BPhlat to get up
hey,
and run
big,
back in the room with a box
big.
filled with drawers.
Wait a minute, big.
Bro,
You don't know about
Well,
B. You gonna have to keep all your little juices for you and your husband, B. We don't want no
Lord
politics.
and I'd be mad if he only clothes. I'd be like, damn it, I needed these juices last night. And they right here in the pants.
You should go get the pants and tell your husband, here they go, babe.
Here they go. Here they go.
Okay, so
Oh.
moving on
Never
anyway.
a dull moment in her household. I'm sure.
Oh,
Never a dull
never,
moment.
never a dull
Wow.
moment. So the
Oh, and
holiday,
Gerard, that goes for you too. I'm sorry, that goes for you too, Gerard, when it comes to the designers, because there are male designers out there, or designers, period, that do it for guys as well. So
I'm
yeah, go
always
get you
a
some
very,
period.
very basic dresser. Old school prep. Give me a button up, some khakis, and some Stan Smiths, and we could do the tour.
And you could,
Yeah,
yes.
plain. I'm super basic. No prints, no bedazzles, no none of that. Super basic, classic guy. You'd never have to be worried if I'm dressed appropriately. You just invite me to your function, and I should, I'll blend right on in, grown man style. But yeah, no rock star. I'ma always have a shirt on under a blazer. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. Yeah. I'm not no rock star dress for you, boy. No jewelry, none of that. So, yeah,
We'll be the rock stars around you, honey. We'll be the rock
absolutely.
stars.
Yeah.
but
Value.
he will eventually change that though. You know, the
Yeah.
journey that he's on and those things, that eventually changes. He's going to change that. And they don't have as much pressure as we have anyway. You know, if they come in their little button-up shirt and their little outfit, they like, okay, nice looking dude. B walk up in there looking any kind of way, or Trish or myself, they're gonna be like, I mean, God, she could have put on some foundation or something.
Yeah.
She could have tried to do
Right.
something. She
If you
ain't
ever
even
saw me
tried.
looking like this, like something's wrong.
They give us, it's hard on us in every aspect. They give us the blues.
Yeah.
They really, the standard that we have to live by. I mean, I don't mind. You know, I do think.
Honestly, I'll take that because
I'll take that. I'll definitely take that, because you do need to look well, because in what we do, if you don't look nice, it's going to be hard for people to pay attention to your comedy, to your acting. Like even with Trish is an actor. So if Trish not looking right, people they not gonna hear anything she's saying in any of her lines. And be like, she don't look. I don't know. She don't look right.
As the only man on the program, speaking, and I would like to claim to speak on behalf of men to the ladies on the dais who are in both in their professional and personal lives. We do appreciate the effort. We understand that it takes effort, that you may have to get up early or stay late to make it happen. But when we see you in a finished product, we don't let it go without saying. We do appreciate the effort.
Well, somebody need to make a T-shirt that say that so we know it.
Yeah, until the T-shirts are printed, that'll be me tugging you on your elbow in the spot. Miss Lady, I sure like the way that red dress,
we appreciate
green
that,
pants. Yeah.
Thank you, Gerard. That was nice, though. We do appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Although I do me for me.
But you always look good, B, regardless.
I just like that because you know.
But you always look good.
None of that. I only do it for the stage. I don't even comb my hair. I ain't even comb my hair today. I don't do none of that until it's time for the stage. But that's when I feel like I go from like Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. I'm in like the mad woman mode, and then booyah. You know, I'm the calm before the storm. So that's what I like about, because I remember, I'm just telling a quick story. My neighbor lived next to me for like 15 years. And he never saw me dressed up. And he saw me getting out of cab, coming home late at night from the show, and he was whistling at me. And I was like, Mr. Duke. He was like, oh my God, I never seen your hair come. He never saw me with my hair. Never. He just always saw me like I'm the one to come out sweet and be looking crazy all day. But then when I get it together, you know how I do, it's a boom pow. And he was whistling. And I said, he was like, oh my God, you sure clean up well. He said, I never saw you with your hair combed.
But
And
in
he always
and,
saw me with a baseball cap on or hair looking crazy.
and my driver is like that. The driver that I use when I go to the airport. So when he sees me at nighttime. I'm catching the red eye. So I'm looking red eyed. So one time my car was in the shop. So I'm looking like I'm catching the red eye all the time when he sees me. I have on sweats or whatever I'm traveling in. So one time my car was in the shop. So I called him. I said, I need to go down to this function. I think it was at maybe the Lab Factory or something. So he picks me up. And when I come out the house, he like, oh, yeah, fool, what you thought? I was going to. He was like, I cannot. He said, I never seen you ready for work. I said, well, I'm ready. And he kept saying when he was driving, he was like, you look good. I was like, okay, you ain't got to keep saying. He was like, you really look good. I was like, thank you.
Saying it like that, right?
Keep that same energy on the way to the airport on Thursday.
Right, because I can run through the routes looking real bad. And all the time, if I'm running through the route, I'm like, God, I need to get some cornbread. And it's always somebody that'll hit me with, was you on Black Jesus? And I be looking like, I was. You know what I'm saying? Thank you. But you don't have to come up on me right now. You see the middle of my head sticking up. I was coming to get cornbread.
As soon as I say no, they be like, yes, you was, because we know your voice. I'll be like, this damn
they
voice.
tell me
everybody
know
my
voice. Everybody know my voice too.
And
I wish I knew what I sound like, but it's my family voice. Everybody sound like this. So when people say your voice, I'm like, well, this is how we sound. I don't know what I even asked my sister. I said, what I sound like? She was like, I don't know.
Like you sound like Auntie Jones.
She said you sound like yourself, but really it's my mother's voice. If you get right down to it, it's just my mother's voice. So the holiday season is upon us. So in these inflationary times and with, all the money we're spending on food and gas, you name it. Think people going to go shopping and shop the way they usually shop? Like, do you think they're going to be busting in the door on Black Friday?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
They might not have nothing to eat, but they going to be they might have a little
all I know is I won't be there with them. That's all I'm saying. I will not be there.
I'm with you, Trish.
This year, let me tell you, I'm gonna do the BPhlat mode and do some DIY gifts. All right. So I'm gonna take pictures out of my phone, and I'm gonna make them real special. I'm gonna pick collage or something, hook them up in memories, and I'm gonna send pictures to everybody this year.
Nice.
These are Merry Christmas pictures of me and everybody. Okay, so that's what I'll be doing.
That's a nice gift, though. That's nice.
Yeah.
And that's how we all need to. That's how we all need to be doing our gifts this year. Cut costs. I mean,
gifts. We just do gifts between me and my husband, and we try to do gifts for our age. So that's going to cut down. So like he's 38, I'm 53. So it's like I try to get him 38. It'd be like little bitty things in the stocking and all that.
That's smart.
And it's fun, but that might get cut down this year.
Gifts for the age you were when you met.
When we come back from Barbados, it's gonna be Christmas. So I feel like that's where we're gonna celebrate Christmas. To me. Because all the money gonna be shit.
Because they said the turkey gonna be so high this year, people gonna be just frying chicken instead. I
don't know why you wouldn't. I was thinking when you said Black Friday and then start talking about food, that the grocery store is going to start getting victimized like the Gucci store. People going to be running up out of Ralph's and Kroger with 38 people with hoodies just left out of the produce section.
Don't say it, G. They going to smash and grab turkeys. Don't say it.
It's already
over. In the dollar stores snatching and grabbing foil and plates and cups and plastic bags. Do not give them ideas. Trust me, because they will.
But there we go. There we go again, though, as a people, where what I'm saying, when we struggle, and this precedes this recession or whatever. But I noticed that when I was a young dude, my first years in public school, that the dude who had the least would have 10 nothings on so that he could have the Gucci sweatshirt. You know what I mean? But it's like you don't have a jacket, you can't eat lunch, your shoes ain't nothing, you got on Wrangler jeans with holes in them, We could see that
Right.
that's your brother's name written in the back of your drawers. Like you would rather have nothing at every space and at one space have a thing of designer. And it's like that doesn't
Now you
matter.
see.
You could have had
my
10
my
pair
shoes.
of regular things. Yeah. So all of this trying to give gifts to people who didn't graduate, who didn't study hard, who got kicked out and expelled and pregnant and rehab. You know what I mean? Like, did you deserve a gift for people to knock themselves out, work 2 and 3 jobs for? You know what I mean? Like, we not heading into a good space. If you don't have it together, I don't want to see your Christmas pictures.
But see, that's where I think that parents, I guess because I come from old school and there were Christmases where we didn't have. And my mother would explain it. And she wasn't going to go into debt to be just trying to have us have one day so we can have, we might get 1 or 2 things. It was about the family. And it wasn't no leading up to it. And we looked under the tree and be like, what happened? She would be telling us, Christmas is not going to be what it is. But put on the refrigerator that one major thing that you might want. I'm going to work to get it. And we would understand that. We wouldn't be like, and then it would be Christmas. She would be like, oh, I got a little extra. We're going to have a couple of this. Or your dad out or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But I see parents go into debt trying to impress these kids, get them these game machines and these phones that cost $100. And they ain't even, you got 3 kids, all 3 kids need a $1,200 phone. Just stuff like that. And they all on the plan. They don't never get no insurance on the phone. Then all the phones broke. You gotta get enough. They think that they're doing too much, and a lot of them have that guilt. Well, because I gotta make them. That don't make kids feel better. You just getting them any and everything that they want. They want more than
my
that.
mother would do that too. And this was my mother would also say, my birthday is January the 4th. So my mother would also say, you know, she'll say, well, I'm gonna get you this, you know, and then I'm gonna get your brother is younger. So I'm gonna get him a few little extra things, and I'll get you this. And your birthday is on the 4th, and by then I'll be to get you X, Y, and Z as a birthday present. And I would be like, okay, Mom. She was up front.
That's what I'm saying.
I didn't have any problems with. How can you, if your mother come to you and say, "This what's going on right now"? This what's going on right now.
Remember,
so she would explain that. Sometimes it wouldn't be that way. You know,
Exactly.
sometimes it wouldn't be that way, but when the times that it was, she'll tell me flat out, okay, this is what's going on. The money's funny. Or sometimes she'll threaten you though. When the video jukebox came out, right, and we were spending that 99 cents, my mother would sit at the table and write her bills out at the table to let you know I'm up here writing bills and I'm doing it for you. Certain people in this house who should remain unnamed.
Right.
Okay. And then she'll see those 99-cent jukebox charges and everybody denying that it's them. She said, okay, I'm going to pay for it, but I'm going to let y'all know right now. The jukebox ain't going to be no big Christmases in here since it's all about the jukebox and don't nobody know what happened.
Right.
And you beg for that HBO and I'm about to snatch it out.
Hold up. Y'all let Justify My Love by Madonna ruin Christmas?
No, we was looking at MC Light and Milk, and we was looking at New Edition.
Oh,
okay, we was in there being New Edition. Oh my God.
Man, when Justify My Love came out, well, we figured out a way to trick it. I was in college, and we figured out a way to make one call and get about 9 requests in. It was 2 Live Crew and Justify My Love. Justify My Love, which was risque at the time.
And my father was the first one.
At the time.
My father was the first one to steal cable. It took me a long time to realize it, but he was one of the first. He was in the house one day. Once we got that HBO, he was like, the next thing I know, he was drilling holes. He went from the basement, he drilled a hole through the wall, through the floor, and ran that thing up through the floor to upstairs. He ran that thing upstairs and split that thing across. It was HBO in every room.
Fantastic.
He's one of them keep up with. My daddy used to keep up with the Joneses. Like he wanted them whatever going on. I was doing. And I remember when my brother David ran our phone bill up to $3,000, calling them 19. Remember them?
976.
Yeah.
He
act like he didn't care. And you know, back in the day, you only got one phone.
Yeah.
and our phone got cut off because he was trying to make an arrangement. And David, my brother, was like 13 or 14, and he was like, "Well, just cut the phone off. Cut the phone." They cut the phone off. As soon as my little brother Lawrence went across the street and asked Jose and them to use their phone, our phone was back up.
Yeah.
Going across the street, and nobody used it. He told me I was going to call grandma. He was upset, and then he paid the bill.
This is
But
what
he
I'm
was gonna let
saying.
us suffer as long as ain't nobody else know.
People had know-how when we were growing up. I guarantee you, if cell phones was out now, wouldn't be no family plan. So your daddy will buy one phone, and he gonna buy all the other phones from whoever on the corner, and he gonna do something in his one phone that his whole family gonna be on that number. We gonna be talking.
Drill a home. We got cell phone upstairs in every room.
Hey, look, the whole
that was so hilarious.
The whole still in there. When I went to my mother's house, like I cracked up. I said, "Look at that, Lord. We were stealing cable so early. The whole still there. You could still go like." And my room was downstairs, so he drilled across and ran my room this way. My brother in room was upstairs. Oh man, he was stealing cable.
I wish my dad would make stuff.
Oh, he stole that cable and ran that cable all over. We had HBO in every room.
Oh no, he rather be like, if we can't get it done right, then it ain't gonna win.
My father, man, he didn't care nothing about none of that. Oh yeah, he liked it. That's why he did it. Once he started looking at it, he said, "Okay, I see where they going with this." Next thing I know, you see him looking behind the TV. He's like, "Oh hell, I can't work this."
My dad's glad. Yeah, I get that bouginess from my daddy. I was one of them Jack and Jill.
Oh boy!
Oh, he was the Castilian.
Nobody know our phone cut off. Like doctors and lawyers that live on our street. So my brother went over there. He's talking about, get your ass.
That's, remember, we said it earlier. What happens in this house?
In this house,
stay.
Not gonna pay that phone bill.
In this house.
Do you all remember the party lines? Remember they had those party lines, and they say you're not supposed to exchange numbers, but we still be exchanging numbers with people anyway on the side. You know, you can only talk. There'd be a bunch of strangers just talking on the phone.
Party line.
That's funny.
And then sometimes they'll pick up on the party line. It'll be somebody you didn't put in there, and they picking up. You be like, hang up the phone.
But
I don't know you. Hang up the phone. Don't be on my line. Hang up the phone. I'm talking. Oh, okay. Click. Those were good days.
Being on the party line, like you being home, somebody call on the three-way, and then the dude get on the phone, and he be like, "She cute. So and so said she was cute," and then they'll put the other dude on the phone. They like, "We gonna meet at the party. Let me tell you." That was the party line.
That was the party.
Yeah. Like, what school he go to? What he look like? I don't know. And there was no days when you could send a picture. They just had to roll up. You in the back seat, a mooger monster, like, oh Lord.
No, I made that mistake. I met somebody, and I never did the party line again. That brother, he scared me. His name was Midnight. And next thing you know, I'm sitting on the phone. You know, we had the phones on the wall with the cord attached to the wall, right? So I'm sitting there, I got my little red nightgown on, I'm rolling my hair, watching TV. He said, "So what you doing?" I had my leg up on the table. He said, "What you doing?" I said, "Oh, I'm just watching TV." He said, "That's all?" He said, "You're not rolling your hair?" I said, "What?" He said, "You're not wearing a red nightgown?" I'm running to my windows because I'm like, wait a minute, I didn't give this man my address. He said, "I see you. I can see you." He said, "You got your leg up on the table." I never went back on a party line again. There was no way that brother could have seen me. That was the wicked mess. I was like, this ain't what we're going to do today up in here. The party line was over. To this day, I was like,
Okay, so I gotta ask y'all about this. I want to know your opinion and the way you feel about this. It's been a big story in the media, and the Kyrie Irving situation. I want to know how you all feel about what's going on with the brother Kyrie Irving. If you don't know, Kyrie Irving was suspended from the Nets for anti-Semitic post that he put about a book, well, a movie. It's also a book called Hebrews to Negroes, and he's been getting a lot of flack from it. There's been a lot of people saying that they want him to apologize. He did apologize. He paid $500,000 to the Anti Defamation League, but he still subsequently was suspended from the Nets. Now they have a whole list of things, like they really want him to grovel back to the team, that he has to do, denounce the movie, meet with rabbis, different
They got
things
done
like that.
all that.
So I just want to know what you all feel about what's happening with him. I'll tell you that I don't think that Kyrie Irving, and I may be wrong, I don't think he's going to play in the NBA anymore. I think he is who he is. He may change. I don't know. He has to show me that he's going to change, because he has taken stands before. Like he took a stand on not getting the vaccine. He did do that. He didn't want to get the vaccine like every other player in the NBA, and he did not get it. And he did not get it, and he did not play. So I don't necessarily think that he's going to come back to the NBA, because I don't think that what he's shown me so far, I don't think that he's going to bow down and do what they want him to do, unless he's turning the corner. And like sometimes things happen with people, and he's like, okay, I'm going to take the money and I'm going to be quiet about it. Because sometimes when you get in these positions and you're with these companies and you're making money, it's just certain things that you are unable to say in the way in which you want to say. It's very unfortunate. A lot of the commentators and everything, the sports, the Stephen A. Smith, the Shannon Sharps of the world, the LeBron James of the world, they all got flack for their comments. But their comments, they have to comment the way that they comment. I mean, it's just the way that it is. Me and Gerard talked about this as well. When you're a company name, and it's very unfortunate, and it can be very detrimental to whatever cause one is fighting for. But it's just the nature of the beast at this point. So I don't think that Kyrie is coming back to the NBA. I think that he might retire, and I also think he may try to find ground for a lawsuit. And I'm going to look at the movie, and I'm going to read the book as well to enlighten myself, to see exactly what he was talking about, so I can have another perspective on it. But I do want to hear what you guys have to say and what you guys think about it.
Ladies.
Well,
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I only paid a little attention to it because I personally get aggravated with the fact. One thing I don't do is judge people in terms of how they feel. Whatever they say, their opinions that they formulate. But I get tired of the double standard, and I don't like the fact that they're going after him for his anti-Semitism. That's a hard word to say. But we allow our president of this country to say, oh, God, he just got done saying stuff about Mitch McConnell's wife. But nobody says, I'm going to pull out from this. So I just think it's a double standard. I feel sorry for the brother, and I'm glad that he's taking a stance. And I know he knows exactly what he's doing and what he said, and he knows the fallback. So he hasn't, I don't think however he feels is how he feels. So if he don't want to apologize, I respect him for that. If he doesn't want to go, but everybody feels as though they have these players on a string, like they did with Colin Kaepernick, but some people have a stance that they take. Like they say in life, you got to stand for something or you'll fall for anything. So he probably don't really care about if he has, because he'll probably do something else. He's a smart man. So I don't know if he's going to come back or not, but I can't formulate opinion in terms of what he said was right or wrong, because I really don't know. I just don't like the fallback. I don't like the fallout that he's getting from it, because we don't apply that same standard to other people that do the exact same thing.
Trish?
I'll be very honest. This past weekend, when I started seeing little things pop up on the hotel television as I was walking by, I saw his name. I heard a few people say some things. I did not get a chance to really listen and see what was going on. I was doing a show over the weekend, so I was so inundated in that. I really am not intelligent enough on the subject matter
Okay.
to give my opinion. And to be honest, my opinion about what he said probably don't even matter anyway, because 50% of the people gonna have a problem with it, and 50% of the people I did say something would like it. So
Yes.
I'm gonna leave it there. It's just gotten to a point, you guys, in this world where freedom of speech doesn't even exist anymore. Period. I'm just gonna leave that there. I really, again, I don't know all of the what's happening. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, go ahead,
Yeah.
Gerard, because Gerard got something to say.
Yeah, you know what? At first, Trish, I want to give you a lot of credit for having your statement to be exactly the way you worded it, right? It's okay to be ignorant of the facts
Mhm.
and espouse that before running off talking about what you think about what you heard the facts were. And that's what all of our almost 100% of our black sports casters did. And then when you look at this in other spaces, when you see it in print, when you see it on CNN and TMZ and all these other spaces, they, I'm a language guy. The words have purpose and they matter. And the people who have the greatest command of the English language in this country use it to abuse those of us who do not. So if you
Mm,
say that he spewed hatred, right? You start looking at you. People don't need to hear that but 2 or 3 times. Remember, nobody reads anything other than the headline, and then we
Right.
rush to the microphone to comment. But when it came to Shaq and Charles Barkley and Shannon Sharp and I mean almost 100 Richard Jefferson, and I only saw one guy try to make the case that y'all are dumping all of this on Kyrie Irving, but it's sitting up on Amazon, so nobody's saying anything to Jeff Bezos. Nobody's talking about the producers of the film. Nobody's talking about the people at Amazon who allow it to sit on the platform. And as he was trying to make that case, Molly from ESPN kept cutting him off to make sure that he didn't go down that road. Now that was on Friday when all of this happened. Well, remember Shaq called him an idiot. Charles Barkley reminded us that his black daughter is married to a Jewish man, and so the feelings about that need to be dealt with more so than black dude just put up a picture. He
Mhm.
said that he said he Googled his name. His middle name is Yahweh. He Googled it and came up the picture of the documentary, and that was why he posted it. That was what he said originally. That's enough to not say I read the whole thing and I'm telling people to go out and grab 20 copies. That's not what he did. He just posted a picture of the documentary. And to so all weekend, you know how social media is. People go in TikTok, they go
Yep.
hard on them. We're in show business. The odds are we've all been in a room with Shaq that you might I can think of an experience I had next to Charles Barkley and those kinds of things. But the people who are in the middle of the world, in the middle of their mama's basement, who kicking out videos, they don't mind calling these people's name and going extra hard. And all weekend long, Stephen A. Smith and every black sports pundit was called a coon, and mostly deservedly so. They got out there and
mm,
pounded the desk, and they sound like they were with the ADL, and they knew that Kyrie didn't say anything specific, and not one of them said that they saw the video. They all said the same words they were pumped and fed to say. But after all weekend of getting dragged by black Twitter and black TikTok and black Instagram, every single one of them has changed their tune. And so no one wants those 6 items, Dom. I'm not sure. You and I talked about this yesterday, but something happened that's different that I learned after you and I got off the phone. Jaylen Brown from the Celtics is the vice president of the Players Association and has been heard, is documented as saying they not with them 6 items. So he has support now from the Players Association and Shannon Sharp and Stephen A. Smith and every one of these black dudes who on Friday was demanding that he needed to be kicked out and he needed to be suspended and he's not a good teammate and he shouldn't be traded and he should be out the NBA. All of them switched their tune. They all saying that the 6 items is too much. The other thing is, yeah, he could sue. I don't know what those legal grounds are, but our brother Corey made a great point, and I heard it in other spaces too, that the state of New York is having to pay back pay to all of the employees in the city who were fired and released for not taking the vaccine.
Mm.
And remember, he plays in Brooklyn, and so remember that's going to be more than them $10 an hour job folks that who they were referring to. This is a special case. That's millions and millions of dollars that have to go back to. So there's a lot of things involved. And personally, the last thing I'll say is just like with Colin Kaepernick, and this is it's selfish of me, but I understand. Remember, we come from an era that when we were children or just before we got here, we got to see Muhammad Ali put it all on the line for what is righteous. You see what I'm saying? When a dude is righteous, he could be the greatest boxer or basketball player. And we'll see Muhammad know he could go to the gym and box. Kyrie understands he can go to 24-hour fitness and get and play some basketball. You know, we're not asking you to never pick up a ball again. You can still play ball. You ain't got to be in the league, but when you stand for something, and that's why I was so angry with every time Colin Kaepernick wanted to show that he could still play and get back. It's like, dude, you're killing. You gotta make the point. No one gets to play forever. The greatest athletes of all time all had to hang their cleats up. If you got to go based in your principle, that's why I don't understand trans athletes. You know what I mean? If changing your sex is so important, well, then sports should be just one of them things that has to be a sacrifice for. You don't get to change your gender and then still get to be a great athlete. The most important thing is about you, because no athlete gets to do it forever and ever and ever. So you make the call about when you're going to step out. And if you have to step out on principle, we still talk about Mahmoud Abdul Rauf. Stand up for the national anthem. We still talk about that. He is never going to be forgotten. Craig Hodges, we ain't going to never forget that y'all stepped out based in principle. That matters, and the only way the needle is going to move. You don't get to keep playing and make the point. So if he doesn't play again, whatever he does next, he has my full support.
He made his point, whatever it may be, but that's exactly what.
Yeah,
I agree with you, but I still feel like, you know, there's a double standard for us.
Oh, they
But everybody else.
Oh yeah.
You know what I
But
thought
I
about?
just-
Real quick, I'm sorry. I was thinking about the only analogy to the thing that just happened is like the world was Karen to us. Remember when there's a Karen, she act like he touched me. And it's like, no, it's on video. No one grabbed you. When the police get there, it's like y'all want us to believe he said that the Holocaust didn't exist, and he didn't say any of that.
Yeah.
The whole world, and you can't go to the Playboy magazine. Kyrie Irving is anti-Semitic. You got all these black writers. Goldie Taylor wrote a thing about Kanye and Kyrie. It's the worst thing ever. And Dom and I talked about this. Between the time of Kanye and Kyrie, the white girl at Kentucky grabbed that black girl and called her Nick.
About 29 times.
We got 1,000 examples of some really ridiculous racist. Remember, they just found that black woman ran out of that white man's house, was captive down there, talking about he killed my friend. Man, all of this is, and we don't hear no stories like that about other communities.
And what
we are strictly up under attack, man.
With the student at the University of Kentucky, in the article, if you read the article, they said they'll make their determination once they investigate. But it's on video. I don't never get it. But with the back to the Kyrie thing, I know that the Stephen A. Smiths and the Shannon Sharps of the world and everything, I know that they have to do their job. I'm clear on that. I just don't think you have to slam him, because irrespective of your job or your financial status, you know what's happening to him and you know where he's coming from. You know what I mean? Say what you got to say, but you don't have to slam him. We can find words. It's a lot of words that you can use that you don't have to. He is this, that you don't have to say that. You can take a different approach and take a different road. That's all I'm merely saying. I know you got to do your job. I know what it is. We in entertainment, so we know what it is. But you don't have to slam him and all of those type of things. You can use different words, you know.
But
and
you talk about two people that love antics and love loud and ratings. They're gonna stay on somebody's show.
Well, let's think about this though. Based on what we know about show business, based on what we all agree with what Dom just said, they have to do what they have to do. Doesn't it make it seem, again, I tell you, I think Pythagoreans, A plus B equals C. And when we know what C and A are, we can go back and solve for B. Unlike mathematics, where B is going to be a solid number, when it's reasonable deduction, there's going to be some options as to what is B, and they're not refutable. Y'all said this about him. You use this language. Is B, could a possibility for B be that those words that they selected were selected for them? It didn't matter. Shaq and Charles are on TNT, but Stephen A. Smith is on ESPN, and Shannon Sharp is on Fox Sports. But they all said the same thing, which was the same thing that was on TMZ. You see what I'm saying? It was pre-done, and that's why it's very peculiar to me that on Monday, everybody who was screaming those same words is now talking about it's too much. We don't want you to have him groveling. Y'all were the ones. You're the one who said the thing that has to have him groveling today. It's almost like ESPN and them was like, hey, we did too much. Send all the black dudes out to be apologetic. We'll fix it from this end. We can't lose our black pundits. We need them to steer the dudes in the barbershop along to go along with it. It seems like that. There's something very unnatural. And when you read the comments on Jason Williams and Shannon Sharp, everybody's like, that's right, Unc. And I'm like, are y'all not leery of somebody who told you something on Friday and switched it all the way up on Monday?
That's a scary.
We follow people. Y'all forgot Friday. You forgot that's the dude who hit you in the head on Friday, and we just go, that's right. He's with the people. No, he tried to do you dirty on Friday. It's just Monday.
I feel
like politics and everything. The statute is politics and everything. I don't care from church to Greek organization. I mean, seriously.
Everything. It's politics and everything.
Absolutely.
It always has been. It's never been separate. But back in the day, we were able to talk about it. You could have conversations with people about Reagan and Carter and Bush and all, and everybody had their opinion in the world. They were still working together to make whatever the issues are. It's going to always be issues in society. And when people get done talking all of this shit about America, we don't want to live nowhere else.
No, you're right about
Not
that.
at all. Ain't nobody talking about, well, I'm about to move to Canada. I'm moving to Mexico. I'm moving. No. Everybody say I'm moving to Georgia. I'm getting out of Pennsylvania. I'm moving to Georgia. Or I'm going to California.
I'm moving to Texas. You right?
Exactly.
Everybody here, yeah.
Ain't nobody say they going to Zimbabwe. I'm going to Zimbabwe.
Get out and vote tour. Our main goal is just to kind of get the young people out to really see how vested they need to be in this country, because you live here. So you should be invested in where you live and what matters to you. And then I put in I do these jokes about Roe versus Wade. When I had my abortion, I had to roll down there and wade in the water. Whatever. I got there on the pogo stick. But my point is, I broke it down for them to understand the importance of the things that they're losing or that they may or could potentially forsake if you're not paying attention. So I just feel like everything is at stake in the U.S., but I still ain't going to live nowhere else because I love the U.S. I don't care where I travel. I love the U.S. places, and I'm about to leave and go somewhere else. I still love to come home amidst all its turmoil, all the crazy stuff that we've lived through and gone through, because as Americans, we've always been able to work through it.
Well, you know what I think the beauty of these rotten times is that certainly for the younger people, that they will grow up more politically aware and savvy than we did. We were able to kind of coast through. Again, you get pushed to the ballot. You can't wait to vote for the first time because you matter, but you're not aware. You know, nobody was telling us, hey, dude, they make a big deal about the presidential, but you need to know who the superintendent of the school is going to be.
Right.
Yeah. Right. So the young the groups under us, they don't really have a choice, especially when you got bomb comedians going around the country doing jokes about it and letting it be understood, you know, not telling you what to vote for, but telling you that you need to be aware. And yes, this is not an old folk business. this concerns you too.
Yes.
So we're growing to be more politically, like I said, it's two rotten elections that make me more aware, based in, I end up on this path of being, you where my head is black first. It is not anti anything, but you don't get black men to be out here in public spaces saying we have black first issues that just need to be dealt with first. Not to say that other people's issues don't matter, but our issues are the same that they were December 18th, 1865. And so if we can't move some of this other stuff out of the way to accommodate, because it's just like what I said, it's okay for the black kids to have racial discrimination when the Jewish kid gets it and then they clean it up that day. See, if you stand by, that's the Martin Luther King thing. If you stand by, and it's okay to kick the black kids when they down, when they come get you for being Latino or Jewish or gay or trans or tall or skinny, whatever your thing is that separates you and makes you different, you're definitely going to get it, because it was okay for there to be this imbalance allowed in the first place. And we always, the thing that got kicked around the longest before the new thing came. And now we creating a whole nother bathroom for, now every kids who ain't even go to English class know they pronouns, because you know what I mean? Like, everybody's making all these adjustments and concessions for other things, and we still have black issues. Why is there black trans issues? We moving all the way to make things happen for trans people. How come the trans who are black still catching hell? Because the issue ain't sexuality, is race. And it's till some of that gets right. Yeah. So either way, and another thing.
Right. Lastly but not least, shout out to I just want to send a prayer out to Brittany Griner. They just transferred her to the penal colony. So, just keep her in your prayers, and hopefully her situation will get resolved. I mean, I just hate that she's going through that, but hey, that's
somebody asked me, was I taking some weed to Barbados? I said, are you kidding me?
No. I don't take nothing no way.
No, man.
I'm not getting here. I'm not taking nothing no way. I don't do that. I live in California.
In Barbados?
If I find out something, I'll let you know.
Call Nigel.
Oh, right. I'm on the hunt.
Yeah.
I always got
Dexter might have something too.
Who?
Dexter, though.
Dexter and Nigel from the front desk.
Dexter,
I'm trying
to concierge.
I can't be there no whole.
The concierge always know the hookup.
The valet guy when you pull up.
I know
the valet guy.
But you know what's funny? I get the worst in the black countries than anywhere else. It's always like in customs, like I feel like they have some kind of apathy towards black Americans. I think because when we come to y'all know how we are, because it take us a year to plan a vacation, and we go with just enough money. We don't be having black people like, I ain't buying them beads. Shit, I can get them beads at home. Yes, braid my hair. Oh yes, sir. Piece of rice in the necklace.
No, she crazy.
Like a piece of rice with my name on it. Girl, I couldn't get out for that.
This was all inclusive.
That's why they don't like us in the Caribbean. Because they be like,
well, but
a shell. I can go in the water and give me a shell.
Remember when you used to travel? You can really get some. When you used to travel to another country, you can really get some nice. Come up with some nice little treasures and stuff, gifts and stuff. Now it's all the same. I say they done all went to the dollar store. Some of my cousin made this. Your cousin ain't make this, girl. Cut it out. Your cousin ain't made nothing. They had this in Mexico.
And see, that's why they don't like us, because we'll be right there talking about, your cousin ain't make that.
No, your cousin ain't make that.
No,
this is made by my grandmother. She's 200 years old. Your grandmother ain't made that.
Was she made in Taiwan too? Because that's what they say on the back.
I like to know people before I get there and like have hookups, because I feel like people. One hotel I stayed at when I was in St. Martin, they were giving out $300 bonuses to the housekeeping people if they could report a room that somebody was smoking in.
Mm.
And I was like, see, this is what I'm talking about. I'm gonna have to go outside.
Yeah, I always go outside because somebody else can smoke on the floor and then come through your vent. Soon as I smell smoking in the hotel or anything, I call downstairs and say, somebody on this floor smoking. You need to bring security. It's coming through my vents, and I don't want to be charged for smoking. Who am I speaking with? Thank you very much.
Oh, you probably
Yeah.
get called up.
Oh, I didn't call on you, B. We in the same hotel because I'm not paying no $200 cleanup fee. I'm not paying that. Why would I pay
Well,
that?
they can never get me on that fee. Can't never get. They
I'm
try.
not paying none of
I've
that.
gotten out of it. I've gotten put out of a hotel once, and then I've gotten out of that fee like 4 times. And I think that's great. In the
You doing good
years.
because you over 3 times. Because usually 3 strikes and you go.
How do you get out the fee? What do you do to get out of it?
Well, first of all, you have to be super smart like me. You got to go outside. I'm always smoking weed in the room. I don't give a fuck. They just have to put me out or charge me the fee, but I'll never get charged. So what I'll do is I'll smoke, right? But I always clean up the room. I always clean the room. I have my spray with me. I don't even let them come in my room. What happens is I'll go outside, let the cameras see me, right? And it look like I'm standing outside. Because see what happened in DC, the lady reported that it was stuff in my trash can when she cleaned up. And they put, when I checked out, it was a 350. I said, if you look at the cameras, I always came outside. You see what I'm saying? And smoke. I said, I prepare whatever I'm doing. I said, I smoke cigars and I stepped out here and you can look on the camera and I would go out and take a couple puffs like I'm doing outside, but it was weed. And I keep, when I'm doing them, what is it? The cigarillos with the cap on it. You know, I just roll the stuff out, let it fall out, and then I just pack my weed on the inside and keep the tip on it. So it looks like a cigar. And they took it off my thing. I said, just because she might have saw a box of cigar or whatever in my, I said, the lady said she did not smell it. She saw it in the trash can. I know you ain't smelled it in my room the way I clean up and the shit I travel with.
You don't use you don't stay in the bathroom, close the door,
the shower
run the shower,
and run the water.
The water on cold. See, that's where people go wrong. They run it on steam and let the steam supposed to run it on cold. And don't have your vents on, blowing it up under the door. That's why, you know, like some people had a vent out in the room blowing with the heat on, and they don't think about their door.
No, you got to put the wet towel
on the both doors.
But I would always go steam. And the best thing you're gonna do is to actually take a shower when you get done, because when the steam and all that settles, the room smell like soap. I'm doing on cruise and everything.
Like a lot of times, if I'm working on my material and I'm listening to shit, I'll be sitting in there writing and I'll be puffing, and I just let it run on cold. But then I'll take my shower, and then like you said, all the stuff makes it
when
smell.
that steam goes.
But then I clean up. I always clean my room, and I don't never let them come in, and I always leave a tip saying, thank you for my privacy. You ain't got to come change my sheets. I come out and get my own shit. I can get my own toilet paper. I don't change my sheets at home every day.
Right. No, I'm only going to be there a couple of days. I don't let them come
so
in my
I'm
room
coming to get towels, bags. I leave the door tag on. They be sliding that shit on the door, talking about, you ain't been out. We haven't cleaned your room in 3. And I'll go out there and say, y'all don't need to clean my room. I just need this, and that. And then I sign off on that little thing. Y'all not coming up in here till this shit is spotless.
And I don't let them in my room anyway, because I cook in my room, so I don't let them in my room. I travel with a hot plate. I do. I travel with a hot plate. I really do.
I'm not doing all that.
I do. I travel with a hot plate, but I'm a smoker now that I guess I don't smoke like I used to be, and you know how I would smoke. So I don't even smoke when I'm on the road no more. I don't even perform high anymore. So when I smoke, I'm only smoking when I smoke. I smoke at home. So I don't have to, but I do call on the people. That's some bullshit, I know. But
as soon as I gotta tell y'all this funny story. I was on the plane going to Orlando, all these kids, you know, I never think about it until I get on the plane and then the babies be crying, but I just block it out. I don't care. It's the grown people that get on my nerves. So I'm asleep, and then the next thing I know, these girls had switched seats, right? So this girl was sitting next to me with her baby on the lap in the middle, and the baby was asleep. By the time we landed, I didn't care. And when they woke up, everybody woke up. I'm one of them that passed gum down the aisle. I was like, "You want some gum?" And she was like, "Oh yeah, thank you." She was about 24. I pick up my rental car. I drive straight to the gas station. As soon as I land, I walk in. Guess who walks in behind me? We both at the counter getting the blunt. Her sister picked it up from the airport. She was all like, I said, do y'all have entourage? And she was like, what's entourage? And I looked at, I said, you was sitting next to me on the plane. She talking about, you need something to go in it. I said, no, girlfriend, I'm good. It's already in my bag. I just thought that was funny because she was the one sitting right next to me and I gave her stuff. And she was like, you need something to go with it. I said, no, I'm good. But I thought that was funny.
I don't even, a little bit, you wouldn't believe a little bit I smoke now. I'm on this big and I'm done. I didn't, I'm done.
Hey, you know what? Can I say something real quick? Yes. I wasn't going to, I never really try to discuss it publicly. Y'all say, man, I haven't smoked a cigarette in going on 4 weeks now.
Congratulations.
Yeah. You see me in this little pen every now and again, but it's been, I never discuss it publicly. It's something I've always been a basic. We get around this, you never seen me smoke unless we stand in front of the club or we've been somewhere social. But yeah, man, I same thing what you're talking about, the desire just kind of, you know how it goes too. You be doing it like, oh, I'm doing this. Like I didn't even know I didn't want to do it. It's just like the habit is so heavy that I was doing things like, man,
I got it in my yoga room. Shit, you can't even see it. It's been 2 years. I'm doing great. Because I was like, spending money.
What's your what? What you say, baby?
I grow it in my yoga room on my second floor. Because I feel like if I'm gonna be spending money, why not learn to grow it? I'm like, I'm home. I work from here. If I ain't on the road, I'm right in my basement. I got the whole basement. And my husband has the whole second floor. Because his gym is up there in his office. We have we tell everybody we got 9 rooms, 2 living rooms, 2 kitchens, 3 bathrooms, 2 offices, all that, but 1 bedroom. Because we don't want nobody spending the night.
And with that said, we gonna wrap this up. I appreciate all of you for coming on today. We don't want nobody spending the night.
Hilarious.
Tell the people what they can catch, what they can see you on, and your social media handle and how they can follow you, because we like to promote everybody that comes on this show. We value every guest and we really appreciate you. And after this, we want people to continue to follow you. So whoever wants to start first, be Trish.
Go Trish.
Go ahead, please. All right. I had a funny story to tell y'all, but we don't have time.
No, go ahead, Trish. Get it out. No, go ahead.
Listen, I was listening to you all talking about smoking and cigarettes and stuff. And when I was 12, right, I thought me and my granny was so cool. I thought we were like homies, right? So I took one of my mom's cigarette butts. I go into the bathroom and I'm trying to light it and smoke it. It's just a little butt. And I'm smoking. And so then Granny comes upstairs. I say, Granny, guess what I just did? She said, what, baby? I said, I smoked one of Mama's cigarettes. She said, you did? I said, don't tell her, okay? She said, okay. Boop, 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 Carol. Your daughter over here smoking the cigarette.
Right.
And so within 30 minutes, because Mama didn't live far, I'm from Chicago, so she lived on 93rd and Richland. I lived with Grandma on 93rd and Vernon. Mama was over there with a whole 20-pack of Viceroy cigarettes. She used to smoke back then. And she laid them suckers out on the table, and she said, you see all this? Whatever you don't smoke, you're going to eat. Now, my mother was a police officer, but she did not play. So I'm thinking, oh, this going to be fun. So she opens the first pack. I got through maybe 5, maybe 6 cigarettes before I was almost throwing up and gagging, and the ceiling was spinning. And that was my first experience of being drunk off of cigarettes, basically. And I barely made it up the stairs. I'm coughing, gagging. And when I first picked it up, she was like, no, I want you to light it like you did in the bathroom. But anyway, I cannot relate to anything y'all was saying other than that, because that cured me from ever wanting to smoke anything.
Anything, yeah.
I'm not going to say I ain't never smoked weed. It was a long time ago. I'm just saying I don't. I was just like, I keep having flashbacks. So that's all. For those that can relate to having... I had to do it. It did. But anyway, social media, you guys can follow me on Instagram, Trisha Mann Grants. 621. But usually when you put the man in, it'll pop right up. Patricia Mann Grant 621. I'm also on Facebook, but I'm so bad at getting on there. I'm an Instagram girl, so do me on IG and Twitter. Trisha Mann on Twitter, and IMDb is Trisha Mann. And The Family Business season
Yes.
4 is streaming now. Season 3, I'm all throughout season 3, so you definitely want to check it out. It's streaming to BT Plus, and look out for a Hulu movie. It's on now with Faison Love, and it's called Santa Games. All right, y'all. So I'll see you on
All
Instagram.
right now. Thank you, Trish. B.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dom. Catch me on Instagram at Flat Out Funny with PHs. Keep it in balance. And I, like Trisha, I'm not an IG person. I'm doing better on Facebook, but I'm really active to the best of my ability on Instagram. And I am telling people to also watch my show every Tuesday. I have a live DIY podcast called Frugal Flip. And you get to be down here in the basement with me and learn how to take the things that you already have in your house and reuse them for other stuff. So watch that, and watch my Comedy Central special. I'm trying to get up to 5 million views. I'm already at like 2.9 million. So
All right, B.
check out my This Is Not Happening on Comedy Central.
Yeah,
Thank you.
oh, well, that's dope, man. And once again, BPhlat, it's always good to y'all. Me and BPhlat didn't even tell you, but we have a connection outside of comedy.
We got a
And,
baby, and a lot of people don't know about it. And
Yeah. You know, just some we connected by some really beautiful people.
yes.
So always is good anytime I could be in the same space as my real sister right there. Trisha, was a great pleasure. And again, I'm always pleased to be on the show. Dom always chooses excellent guests. And so my value is rising just because I'm sitting on here with the 3 dope chicks. For real, for real. So again, I'm always going to be with Dom right here, co-hosting with Dominique Comedy, and you can catch me on IG at Gerard Guillory on Facebook as well. I'm like y'all. I'm less active on Facebook, but I'm trying to work on that. Also, y'all follow my YouTube channel, TikTok. I'm doing all of that. So y'all know what I'm on. You know, we definitely being funny, but you know, I'm serious funny. So still have my thing, and we got some other stuff coming up, but I'll drop that next week. But other than that, you could always catch me right here.
At Dominique Comedy with an I. I also on TikTok and all that. Next week I'll be in Detroit at the Punchline Comedy Lounge in Southfield, Michigan. The week after that, I'll be on the 25th, the day after Thanksgiving. I'll be at the Freeman Coliseum in San Antonio. And Saturday night, I'll be in Procter & Gamble Hall in Cincinnati. So please, by all means, come through and check that out. And the 8th through the 12th, I'll be at Comedy Off Broadway in Lexington, Kentucky. So y'all can come check that out and come see me then. I always say this, and I think you know it already. I have a stand-up special on Amazon. It's called Dominique Whitten. They use my last name. Stop Me When I'm Lying, so you can check that out. And thank you for watching this show, and keep watching this show. And the holiday season is upon us, and we'll see you next week. And we're gonna talk about Thanksgiving and the whole nine. I thank all of my guests. I appreciate you guys. And like we say all the time, we're gonna laugh, we might cry, but we ain't gonna lie. And we'll see you right here next week on Dominique the Podcast. And we're out.
Thank you. Nice meeting you, Trisha.
Astro.
Nice meeting you.